Lads, do you really think some of these guys are actually better than you? No way. They're just doing better than you. They actually just understand the framework of how to actually make outcomes happen for them and therefore actually have a huge impact on the people who want to help their business. And then also from their own standpoint, they're going to get value back and they're going to get a life of financial and location freedom. But they are no better than you. And all you need to do is look at these lads' tracks. Success leaves tracks, just like failure does. If you're not where you want to be, it's because everything you've done up until now has been wrong and you've not done enough of the right stuff. If you look at the guys who are killing it, their success is in their tracks. Look back at how they've actually achieved it. It's in the daily habits. If you look at their calendar, their days will represent somebody who is actually going to achieve big results. So the first thing you need to do is actually just understand where you actually want to go. And once you've identified that, you can then start thinking, okay, what inputs do I actually now need to put in place to guarantee I get there? So who do you need to become? If you say you want to earn 20K per month, that's cool. But I would also say, why do you want to do that? And understand what it is you want to do. So it's like, okay, if the life you want to live, requires £20,000 a month, that's fine. But then ditch the £20,000 a month and stop dreading every morning when you wake up, but like you have no idea how you're going to achieve it. You need to understand your goal once. And you're going to break it back down into, okay, how would that actually be possible? So if you want to scale your business to 20K a month, I mean, that's still pretty low in terms of it's not really scaling at that point, it's more building. But you need to understand how you're going to do that. You're going to have 4 clients a month at 5,000, or are you going to have 10 guys at 2K? You're going to have 100 guys at 200. You then need to just understand what is the actual goal within that, because the money is not the goal, the money is an outcome. So get clear on what it is you want, but then think more about what you need to do to actually help other people or provide them with their product or service. So obsess over the number of people you need to help, not the financial, because thinking about money all day will not get you money. Thinking about providing value, solving problems for people will get you money. So think about who you need to become. If you've got this goal of scaling your business, imagine yourself being the guy with the scaled business and look at how you would actually operate on a daily basis. What would you actually look like? Chances are you'd probably look a lot better. You'd probably dress better. You'd probably be in better shape. You'd probably have better health. You'd probably be cognitively sharper. You'd probably have a better network of friends around you. You'd probably go into deeper work when you actually need to get stuff done. So think about who you now need to become to get that goal of the amount of people you need to help. And then also think about what daily inputs you can actually do, how you can structure your calendar to achieve that. Because all you can control is the input. You cannot control the outputs, which everyone is obsessing over and then getting depression and anxiety about how they don't have X amount of money. You cannot control that. You can just control what you put in. So obsess over who you need to become and the actions to become him or her, and you will then get everything you want over time when you follow the blueprint of the daily actions that actually need to be done. You also, once you're at the point of scaling, need to start figuring out, okay, what should I be studying? You've got to be a lifelong student. You can't just think, oh yeah, for example, I started out in personal training. Now we've got the online physique coaching, high performance coaching. We've got consultancy for businesses. I can't just go back and just think, oh yeah, I did my level 3 personal training course, God knows how many years ago, and think that's me done. But a lot of people stop there. Every single month, I'm investing tens of thousands of pounds back into education, into mentors, into self-development to actually move forwards. But the difference is, as you start entering scaling phases, you don't want to be just learning like the build phase. At the start, I was studying everything across the board. I just wanted to know business foundations. But as you're scaling, you need to really look at what areas are going to gain you the most leverage, what areas are actually going to allow you to move forward the most. So, for example, it may be your product simply isn't good enough to scale, so you need to study and invest hard into your knowledge on improving products. It may be that you've got loads of people that want to work with you, but your onboarding is not good enough. It may be that your sales is poor, and then you just study that area, or you employ a specialist in that specific area. So for me, I employ people who are amazing at what they do. We've got physique coaches in there which can do physique coaching to the highest level. We've got a marketing director which can take care of all of that. We've got admins that can do the admin stuff better than I can do it myself. You got to think about, you've got to get people to help you and study key areas that are actually going to allow you to move. So, like when you're scaling, guys, one of the biggest things you need to become a master of is leadership and building teams and actually helping your team achieve their goals. It's no longer about you. From the start, you think it's about you. Okay, you have that initial goal of where you want to hit, but you've soon then going to shift your focus to how many people you need to help out there in the world to actually gain the value back in a monetary format. But then you've got to deep it even harder, and you've got to go, okay, but you might not be doing everything on the one-to-one basis with these guys. Now you've got to actually, if you want to scale and have the biggest impact, you've got to train your team and you've got to lead your team from the front. So your focus at scaling isn't just one-to-one necessarily directly with all the clients, it's one-to-one with the coaches. So you're almost working up that pyramid, and your influence now needs to go directly to the staff or people in your team. So I would be studying sales in more depth. I'd be studying leadership and team building in a lot more depth. Third thing, simplify everything to its core. If you look at some of the most successful businesses that effectively are the most user-friendly, and they're like Apple. So if you give like a 3-year-old a fucking iPad, they know how to use it because it's so simple. It doesn't require instructions. If you've got a product or a service that when someone is onboarded, there's a million questions on how to actually use the product or service, it won't scale. There'll be a break. As soon as you push more leads and sales through, everything breaks and it will fault and you're going to get bad reviews or whatever. So you need to think about it. You need a product or a service that actually requires as little customer service as possible. Not because you don't provide it, but your clients or your customers are actually very happy with it as soon as they're in, and it makes perfect sense. So really go back to your product. You may have a great product, but simplify it as much as possible so that anybody coming to work with you or buy your product or service just knows what to do straight away, and it makes everything streamlined for you and your guys within the team, but also for the customer. You also need to think about doing a lot more. Okay, people massively underestimate. I know I did. I massively underestimated what some of the guys at the top are doing in terms of volume of stuff and what they do for free. Everybody wants stuff from the world, but like the world will give you what you give out. So if you're not giving enough out, you're not going to get enough or what you desire back in. The easiest way to gain more, for example, clients or customers or whatever it is to just do more for free. Help people achieve things for free. So if we're talking coaching and coaches, more content, more free stuff, help people achieve every single thing they want to achieve without even working with you. Because if you're making free resources every week and you're putting out content on YouTube or on Instagram and it's so valuable, imagine they're just going to be thinking, imagine what the paid stuff's like. And the more people you can help for free, the more people will become customers. If imagine 1% of your customer base, imagine 1% of your following is your customer base, but now you 100x your reach and you 100x how many people you're helping for free, you're also going to 100x your 1%. Your 1% becomes a lot more people, and therefore you can have the bigger impact on people. Because obviously the biggest impact, yes, content's great, but the biggest impact is always going to come from people that work with you directly, buy your product or service, and they're actually going to have the biggest impact. So if you really care about scaling and helping more people change their lives, You've got to give more for free to actually allow people to get to know you as a person or as a brand, a professional business, and then to be able to actually work with you because they trust you, they like you, they know everything about you, and then they can get that full whack service and actually have a transformational process within the life as your customer. The final thing, one of the biggest things for scaling this, guys, is data tracking, understanding every single metric within your business. So you need to know how many pieces of content are going out. You need to know what's performing the best. If you're running stuff like ads, you need to know exactly what ads performing the best, what hooks performing the best in an ad. If we're talking about the marketing and the sales, it may be you need to know how many booked calls are you getting, how many sales are you getting from that, and identifying where the leaks are. How long are customers staying with you? How many referrals are you getting? Every piece of data that can be tracked needs to be tracked like a savage, because you could be doing so much stuff right, but if you've got a leak somewhere, all of this good work is just going straight out the back door. So imagine if you've got not a great product and you're bringing in hundreds of people every week into your product or service, but then you've got awful retention because they don't like it. You're doing all this work, spending all this money on marketing, and then people are leaving because they don't like what they get. So you need to fix the leak, because then if you're bringing in 100 people a week, losing 100, you're net gaining 0, and you're not going to get closer to your goal, and you're actually not helping others in the process, hence why they're leaving. Whereas if you fix retention, you help them get results, you actually fulfill your promise, and they stay, and you bring on 100 a week. In 4 weeks, you've got 400 new people achieving life-changing results. So think about tracking your data and making it as bulletproof and as leak-proof as possible. But guys, don't get disheartened by not being where you want to be yet. Just go savage. Everyone who is doing better than you, they are not better than you. They just understand the framework, the blueprint to actually get where they want to get, and they execute it daily. It's all it is. Any of you watching this can do this. You've just got to be prepared to actually do the work, do the inputs every day. Whether you win or you lose today, you still turn up tomorrow. It doesn't matter. You've got to just do the work. I've had some savage stuff happen to me. I've had bank accounts hacked and money drained and all sorts of things. But guess what? In the morning, I wake up and I'm still there at 4 a.m. on the laptop working. That's what it's about, guys. See you in the next video. Hope you guys